Hola! Welcome back to PPP, Paul Plays in Portugal, where today is episode 9 of the series and it's the start of my second season in charge of the Algarve club, Portimonense. In the first season we had a brilliant time, finishing 9th in the table, way above expectations. We also got through to the semi-final of the League Cup. I'm really enjoying this series and I hope you guys are too. If you are, please hit that like button, it'd be very much appreciated. I've been quite busy in the summer, few players coming in, quite a few players leaving, lots of turnover in the staff as well, which I'll show you in a second. But let's just have a look at the Portuguese Premier League then. These are the 18 teams that make up the top division in Portugal for the forthcoming season. Now you may have noticed I have installed a real name fix just so all the teams have their real names, which I didn't get around to doing in the first season. It hasn't fixed the Brazilian teams for some reason, I'm not sure why that's happened. But you can see instead of Porto being called FCP, they're called FC Porto now. Portimonense SC, Sporting Club Portimonense, that's us. And looking at the season preview, we're expected to finish where we finished last year. So we are a relatively strong team in Portugal, 150 to 1 to win the league. Porto easily the favourites, Benfica second favourites, Sporting third favourites. That's pretty predictable. The two teams that came up are the two teams predicted to finish bottom, although there are a few other teams predicted 1,000 to 1, which is what we were predicted last season, remember. There's been quite a few big transfers in Portugal, going out of Portugal, coming into Portugal. So yeah, these are the key players for all of the teams, as you can see here listed by value. Porto had the most expensive player. We've got Paulinho here, worth 825k. He's an important player for us. Who's our other important player? It's Nakajima, who's not worth very much, even though I've given him a new contract recently. In fact, talking of Nakajima, I tried to install his face because he had a blank face for the first season. I did the usual method of putting a player in my face pack, the photo of Nakajima in my face pack, numbered him according to his ID number on the game, changed the config file, and for some reason it spat out this random face, this Caucasian guy who I have no idea who he is, but it's certainly not Nakajima, and I've fiddled around and I can't delete him now, so we're stuck. This is Nakajima. Welcome to the new Show Your Nakajima. I have no idea what has happened. We have given him a new contract for another 3-year contract. I had already offered him a new contract earlier in the first season, but I've now given him a £2.5 million release clause, which should hopefully get rid of clubs interested in him for ridiculously low fees. Paulinho's also been given a new contract. I do have a post-it note with some notes that I need to remember to talk about. So Paulinho has a 5-year contract. I think he's got a £5 million release clause. He's an important player to us, and I'm going to be trying to give him a go as an enganche, because I think that will suit his creative nature. He's got 16 on passing, 16 on vision, 16 technique, and I think he can work well there as an enganche, because we already play an advanced playmaker with Lamas in central midfield. I don't really want too many playmakers in the team. Obviously an enganche is a type of playmaker, but not quite in the same vein. But this is the team. It's looking pretty good, I think. If you look at the ability, obviously that's relative to our team and the rest of the league. But there's been a few signings, you'll notice a few new names, and this is what's happened in the transfer window so far. By the way, I did have a few teams coming in for Paulinho, Nakajima, Wellington. I've managed to fend them off, and a few players, Nakajima, Paulinho, said they wanted to leave for these big teams. But all I said was, you're a big part of the dressing room, I don't want to lose you. And they were all right with that. So all the clubs have vanished, which is pretty remarkable. I'm astonished that I've managed to hold on to my key players. Players that have left, Pires has retired. He managed to score a few goals at the start of last season, but he was a bit old, wasn't he? So he's retired. Everton's gone on a free to Brazil. He's a decent player, but he just didn't fit into my system and didn't have a very good average rating. Alfredo's gone to Brazil as well, back to his homeland. Wilson Manafa's been sold for a pretty low fee, but I didn't need him. Decided to sell this Nigerian, Chidera Eza, has gone to Toulouse, where he's in their reserves. This player's hoping that he can turn into a decent talent. Hackman, another right back, has gone. And lastly, this was out of my control, but it's a big fee. Agbenyenu, who was my backup left back last year and became my first choice towards the end of the season. He was going to be my first choice this season, but the board sold him. They said that it was a deal. It was too big a fee to reject. He's actually worth 1.3 million since he's left now. But 450k was above his value at the time when he was at my club. All the players are pretty low value because they're on quite small contracts. The Portuguese Premier League is quite a respected league in Europe, but it's not as high as other leagues. So anyway, he's gone. But we have replaced him already. First, in fact, I'd already brought in a left back who was going to be the understudy to Lumo Agbenyenu. Alex Kakuba, a Ugandan 27-year-old who was playing for Firenze last year in the Portuguese Premier League. Didn't play many games, which is why he was going to really be backup for me. There's a possibility he might have to be first choice. He's quite pacey, as you can see. They're decent crossing, dribbling. Defensively is okay, so I think he can do a decent job for us. I've not spent any money yet, by the way. There's still potential to sign someone, of course. Next up was improving the right-back position. Pessoa is getting on. He's only now a 2-star current ability player. I think he's 35 or 36. He was club captain. He's now vice captain behind Jadson, who I've somehow managed to hold on to as well, despite a few bids coming in for him. But I needed a proper right back, I thought. That would actually be good defensively, decent going forwards. And this is the guy, Thiago Mesquita, who has come from Boa Vista. He played quite a few games for them last year, but I guess he was their second choice. I quite like the look of him. He's a good all-round right back, so I think he'll do a good job for us. Next up is a couple players on loan. Franco Lopez, a striker, trequartista. That's the role I'm going to be playing him as. And I think he will be a good player for us this year. He's on loan from River Plate. He's worth quite a bit of money. So to get him on loan, I think it's not bad going. 16 dribbling, determined. He's okay at finishing, composure off the ball, all those attributes for scoring goals. I think he'll do a good job for us. He's young. I doubt he'd ever sign for me permanently. I don't think we'd have the money to spend. And we've also signed a player on loan from Monaco, Ruben Vinegar. That's what it's called. It's basically Vinegar. He's only 19. He's Portuguese as well. They signed him from Sporting originally. He's been on loan at Wolves last year in the Championship. Played quite well. And he's good. I want him to be my main left back. He prefers to play left midfield, but I'm going to play him left back with Kakuba as backup. Now you might think I've not made that many signings in the grand scheme of things, but we've got a good team. There's a few players that have been promoted from the reserves. Rui Costa was on loan last year. I'm not sure why, because he was probably the best striker at the team. He was on loan in the second division. He only scored 10 goals in all competitions, which isn't great, but he's going to be I think he could be a good player for us, either as a backup striker, possibly first choice, or as a backup for Nakajima on the left-hand side as an inside forward. He's quite young as well, and I probably could sell him for a decent amount of money if I do need some money to improve the team. Of course, we've got Stanley, top goal scorer from last year. Chuma, well, let's just look at Stanley quickly. He's not changed much, I don't think. He's 28 years old now. Chuma is the young Spaniard, 21 years old. I know a few of you are saying he's a wonder kid on the game. He's certainly not got the potential to be world-class, but he does have the potential to be a decent striker. I don't think it's going to work out for him on my save though, unfortunately. Of course, we've got Franco Lopez as our other striking options. We've still got Wellington, we've still got Bruno Tabata, we've still got Nakajima, Paulinho, Bruno Lamas. Denaire stayed. I was thinking about selling him. Pedro Sar's come back. He was out on loan. No, he wasn't out on loan. What am I talking about? He was just backup, wasn't he, for me last season. This guy's been promoted from the reserves. Calque, a 22-year-old Brazilian who was out on loan last year to the second division team as well. Looks like an alright player as a defensive midfielder. Prefers to play as a deep line playmaker. We've also got, this is the chap I sent out on loan, the Brazilian Gustavo Hebling, who was out on loan in Ligue 2 in France. Didn't play particularly well. I'm not sure if he'll play many games or any games at all this season, but I just need a few central midfielders in there as cover, really. Marcel's going to be our main defensive midfielder. Uri's gone back to whoever I loaned him from, I can't remember, so I think Marcel will be first choice as that defensive midfielder. Pessoa's still at the team, but he is certainly getting on and not quite up to the standard he was at the start of last season. I'm surprised to hold on to Jadson. Posignolo's an important player to have as well. He was great for us. Although defensively we were weak, they are important players, Posignolo and Jadson. Without them, I think I'd have probably conceded even more goals. And of course, we've still got Ricardo Ferreira in goal and our backup, Carlos Henriquez. Staff-wise, so there's been quite a bit of turnover. You won't remember, I didn't show you the staff previously, but we have brought a few guys in. We've got a new head of youth development, an Englishman, Sean Kimberley, who sort of links up with my English side, I suppose. We've mainly got Portuguese guys in here, but we've signed a few English chaps. Mark Sale, a coach, was available. Alan Smith, as a physio, was available. So I've brought in a few players. In fact, I replaced the whole physio team. Brought in a sports scientist who we didn't have before, a regen, Pedro Neto. We also brought in 3 scouts, I think, 2 of which were Portuguese, 1 French and 1 Romanian. I think that's 4 scouts, in fact. Maybe it was 4 scouts. I've brought in a data analyst, Portuguese data analyst, a few youth coaches as well coming into the under-19 team. So there's plenty of change. I'm just trying to improve the club as a whole. It's not just about the players, it's about the backroom staff as well. They're just as important, really. If we look at the under-19s, potentially we do have some good players. This guy has really pushed on. Luis Encarnacio, a 16-year-old, 15 on finishing. That's better than any of the strikers in the first team. So possibly one for the future, depending on how many seasons I do on this save. But 4-star, possibly 5-star potential apparently. Let's keep an eye on him. This is another guy who, Carubo, central midfielder. He was 15 when he was started at the club. Possibly he could turn into a decent player as well. So there's certainly some talent here that we could call upon at some point if need be. So in pre-season, we did lose a couple games, but we won the rest of them. And this was an absolutely insane second round of the Taça de Portugal. Or Taça de... Is it called... What is it called? Taça de Liga. Oh, I thought it was called Taça de Portugal. Taça de Liga CTT. That's what apparently the real name Fix is calling it now. Porto won it last year. In fact, I didn't show you the League Cup winners last year. Is that the League Cup? I'm really confused now. I thought Porto didn't win the League Cup. No, Porto won both things by the looks. Yeah, Porto won the treble last year then, didn't they? That's pretty remarkable. Anyway, now I've changed the names of competitions, I'm going to get really confused. But the first round, well, the second round really, second phase as it's called here. What a game, what an insane game this was. We conceded a very early goal in the 3rd minute, but we were fantastic for the rest of the first half. Franco Lopez, our new Argentinian on-loan striker, scored a hat-trick. And Wellington scored a goal. He could have had a hat-trick as well. We really should have been winning about 8-1 at half-time, but we were only winning 4-1. But I thought we had it tied up. But this guy, Ricardo Barros, who I thought about signing in January when I was looking for a striker, but didn't think he'd fit into my system because he's more of a defensive forward or a target man, destroyed me. He scored 4 goals, and the 4th of which was in the 94th minute, and I just couldn't believe it. We were losing 5-4. But up steps Posignolo of all people to smash in a 95th minute equaliser. And it was a free kick. The big lumbering centre-back just smashed it past the keeper. And it was 5. This is the most ridiculous game I've played on FM18 so far, I think. And we won on penalties. So we scraped through against a team that's only just been promoted from the 2nd division. So I don't know if that bodes well for the start of the season. We did win 9-0 in our last pre-season game. I just wanted an easy game, score a few goals, boost the confidence ahead of our first game today against Estoril, which I'm looking forward to. I don't know where they're predicted to finish. Let's have a look. They're predicted to finish 12th, so we're both mid-table teams. By the way, I've just looked at my post-it note. Recently I had an offer accepted for Wellington by the board, but I managed to convince them to keep him. So it shows that the club really do, and the board do value me, even though they're willing to sell players behind their back to get some money. Financially, this is the position of the club. We've actually got £1 million in the bank. We were in debt for a little bit, as you can see here, but since selling a few players and not spending any money, we're in a good position. We've got £740,000 left to spend. We've got quite a lot in the wage budget. We can improve this team quite dramatically if I want, but I'm pretty happy with the team as it is. I love these 3, Nakajima, Paulinho, Wellington. I just think they're great. Lopez up front, really looking forward to him playing. He's already got 3 goals this season in that one game, of course. I love Lamas in central midfield. He was a standout performer in the second half of last season. The back line, I think personnel-wise, it's fine. We just need to create a system that works defensively. I've not really done much tactically. I have changed the set pieces defensively because it was a problem, and I'm hoping that will make a bit of a difference. Let's get on with the first league game of the season then. I'm looking forward to this. A little bit nervous as always at the start of the season. I'm wondering, will it go completely wrong in our second season? It is possible, isn't it? Second season jitters. The curse of the second season, possibly. You may have noticed Jadson doesn't have a face either. I was going to find a face for him, but I've been put off by the fact Nakajima is the completely wrong human being. It's wrong. I don't understand what's gone wrong here with Nakajima's face. It's the wrong face. It's quite funny, really. Anyway, we had a good pre-season. Crazy second round of the Taça da Liga, or Portugal, or whatever it's meant to be called. First highlight of our second season then, and Estoril coming forwards in their yellow outfits. Wellington couldn't quite intercept there, and here they come, but Posignolo does well. And now we're going to break. Here's Nakajima. We've held on to the Japanese maestro, given him a new contract, and it's through to Lopez, who gets his 4th goal of the season already, his first league goal inside 10 minutes for the club. Oh, he's going to be a star this year. Stanley was great for us, but we needed someone a bit more consistent up front. And we've changed to a trequartista, which I've had great success with on FM18 with Man City and Napoli, of course. And now Lopez is doing the business for us in a trequartista role. Oh, free kick. Nakajima steps up. Oh, he's put it wide. Good opportunity right on the edge of the box. And now it's a corner. Now, can we defend them? Marcel heads it away. We did defend them. And now Paulinho can break as a fly attacks me. Go away, fly. Here's Lopez. Come on, Lopez. Skips past that man. Still going. Can he cross it in and find someone? He's found Nakajima, who makes it 2-0. Great counter-attack from a corner. The corner defensive tactic worked. And I didn't even need to look it up online. I made it up myself. And it worked wonders. Look at this. Lopez does really well. All by himself, charging forwards, puts in a great ball to find Nakajima. I don't know how he spotted him, but it's a great finish as well from the angle. He had a lot to do from there, and he's got his first goal of the season as well. And at half time, we're 2-0 up. Paulinho's not having a good game in the Enganche role, though. I really want to get the best out of him because he's a quality player. 16 passing, 16 vision. He's had a few good games for us. Got the most assists for us last season. I didn't feel like he quite suited the attacking midfield role because you need to be pretty good at finishing with that as well, whereas advanced playmaker not so much. And I thought maybe Enganche would suit him, but so far it's not. Let's just speak to him and say I believe in him. He looks happy. Maybe he'll put in a better performance in the second half. He's on a yellow card as well, so we'll have to watch that. You sign in Mosquito, our right back's picked up a yellow card as well. Vinegar, not playing particularly well at left back according to the ratings, but my defence never get good ratings, even when we keep clean sheets. Right then, I think we're going to have to take Paulinho off. It's just not happening for him today. I'm going to throw in Bruno Tabata. I think he can play attacking. Let's go for attacking midfield. And I'm going to take off Vinegar and bring on Kaku, but I'm pretty sure it's not pronounced Vinegar, but that's what I'm rolling with. It's just going to make me hungry. It's been a boring second half, but we've got a highlight now. I'd have rather it just trickled out there and been a comfortable 2-0, but here come Estoril looking for an equaliser. Ferreira easily catches it though. I'm just going to encourage them for the last few minutes and make my last change. I'm going to take off Wellington. He's not had a very good game. Throw on Stanley on the right wing. He played up front for me almost all the time last season. He very rarely played on the wing. Here's Lamas out wide to Stanley. What's he going to do? He's going to put a good ball in, and Lopez. Oh, it's a good save by the keeper off the line. It's been a comfortable win to start the season. I'm happy with this. 2-0 win. Lopez gets his first league goal of the season. Nakajima gets a goal as well. There's still time actually. 2 minutes to go. I thought we were running out, but in fact there's still 2 minutes for this result to change. Are we going to lose our clean sheet? Here goes Allen, and Ferreira catches that as well. And he's pumped it up the pitch. 2 minutes. Are we going to get a third? Nakajima, what a touch that was. Lopez, he scores another goal. 3-0. That's even better. It's his 5th goal of the season. What an assist from Nakajima. Let's watch that first touch again. Ferreira just punted it. Boom. High and long, and look at this for a first. That is wonderful. Then a great cross in, and Lopez, great finish. And oh, he's going to be a good player for us, Lopez. I wish we could sign him permanently. If we save up our money, then potentially we could, but we've only got 740k, so I don't think we will be able to. What a brilliant first game of it. I'm happy with that. I'm feeling positive for this season now. Really looking forward to this second season, and I think we should be aiming to try, if we can, get 4th place, which is a big ask for a club like us. It really is. If we go back to last season, Rio Ave finished 4th with 55 points. I think the top 3, I can't imagine Benfica will have such a poor season again, but those 3, they're going to be top 3. But 4th is up for grabs, and I'm presuming that's a Europa League place. So that's what I'm going to aim for. Maybe it's a bit too much of a big aim, but you got to dream big. So thank you for watching episode 9, the first episode of this second season with Portimonense. I'm going to play a few games behind the scenes. We're going to have a double episode against 2 big teams. These, Porto and Sporting, if we can get anything from those 2 games, it shows we mean business this year. But I'm going to play 5 games behind the scenes, and then we'll come back for episode 10 and take on Porto and Sporting. Could be 2 big losses, but let's hope we can put in a good performance. Until next time, enjoy FM18, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you very soon.